Hello, everyone. My name is Ariane Harley Emerson, and I am the CEO and Artistic Director here at Elevate Vocal Arts and Elevation. We're so excited that y'all have decided to join us today for this live stream with some amazing, talented people, the people that make it happen, some of our vocal artists. So I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves, and we'll start today with Waigwa.
Well, hi, y'all. My name is Waigwa. In addition to singing in Elevation, I'm also artistic director of an LGBTQ plus chorus in St. Paul, Minnesota called One Voice Mixed Chorus.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us. Let's go to Angela next.
Hi, my name is Angela. I am a middle school chorus teacher in Howard County, Maryland. And with Elevation, I get to sing all day long. And when I'm not doing those things, I am being the fun.
Awesome. And Selena.
Hi, everybody. I'm Selena. I am also a middle school chorus teacher, but in South Carolina. I am absolutely floored at the amazing talent that we have in Elevation. And if you haven't seen us yet, trust me, you need to.
Absolutely. And Scott.
Hi, everybody. My name is Scott. In addition to singing with Elevation, I conduct and compose. I guess at this point I can say that I am the Associate Director of Pro Activities at the University of Alabama, and excited to chat with everybody today.
Awesome. Well, thank y'all for joining us. We're so excited to talk about our album entitled Are You Looking For Me? Just a quick public service announcement. It drops on Tuesday, May 28th. So that's in 2 days. We're so excited. It is entitled Are You Looking For Me? You'll be able to download it on all of the streaming platforms. So that's Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, Tidal, everywhere. It'll be everywhere. So we are so excited about the launch of that album. And we're excited for you all to kind of come into our Elevation fold even more. So please do support that album. It'll be coming out on Tuesday. So we hope that you enjoy it. So I'm just going to start off our conversation today just by talking about the album itself, asking what about the process you enjoyed to our vocal artists, if there are any pieces that you really loved, would love to hear about that as well. So anyone can feel free to jump in if they have something that they thought will stay with them about the process of recording the album or any of the repertoire that's on the album.
Do I know something? This is, go ahead, Selena.
No. I was just going to say I've recorded in lots of places for various events, various organizations. And I can honestly say this was the most beautiful space to record in that I have ever experienced.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, it was. And thanks to Scott, we were able to record in Jaharis Hall on Haverford College's campus. He was the interim director of choral activities there. And you can just see beautiful nature behind it. That must be amazing to see that every day rehearsing, Scott.
Yeah, we did it. We recorded in the winter, and so like there's beauty in winter, of course, but like the past few months, we've gotten like the greenery, which is even more. Like there was a day that we had like a double rainbow, like rehearsal stopped because everyone's like, "There's a rainbow," and they got so excited. So yeah, no, Jaharis is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful space. I'm so glad that we were able to record in there.
Yeah, it's easy to sing in there as well. It's scenic, instead of being kind of in a space with no natural sunlight for a couple of days. We were spoiled for sure. So thank you again for allowing us to be in that space. And it was just a beautiful space and resonant space. Waigwa, you were about to say something.
I was also going to talk about the space, just as most of us have gone through the education system, academia, to get our music degree. Music buildings are usually basements. Music buildings have no windows. You're supposed to make your art in the dark. So I did really appreciate getting to sing with a beautiful backdrop.
And like recording an album is like, it's a weird thing because a lot of times what I find, it's like when you're in live performance, something minuscule or small can happen and no one perceives it. No one in the choir, no one in the audience, but it's very different when you're recording. Does anyone want to talk about like what that experience is like when you're like trying to be so perfect and get everything just right on it? Go ahead, Angela.
Yeah, the level of like diligence that goes into doing those studio recordings, I think is something that you don't always consider when you are used to doing mostly live. I mean, I work with 12-year-olds, so we're recording anything. But when he's listening to all of those details and going, okay, there's like a breath here that didn't really connect that line there. Do you want to run that again? Or someone's like tapping their foot too loud. I'm like, wow, there's so much fine detail that goes into making the best possible recording.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Scott.
I was gonna say too, there's something about this, like there are so many mics like all around you, right? So like there's different variants of sound, and so like there's that added stress that like when you happen to be like right in front of the mic, you're like, oh gosh, like every, like how Angela's saying, every single minuscule thing is there. And talking about pieces, I was Laos Trinitati was like that one that I was just like, oh, like it's so short and so fire, but like every detail mattered. Like every little thing had to be in place. And so I just remember like I want to get this right because they're gonna hear every little thing. So it's stressful but wonderful.
And that piece we did not have a lot of time on, so the piece is under 3 minutes, and we only had about 15 minutes of takes for Laos Trinitati because we had started it on one day, and then it was just getting too late, and we were like, okay, we're done. Like, we can't record anymore for the day, and so we like pivoted to just doing some rehearsal cleanup for the next day. And when we revisited the next day, it was the last thing, and so things take more time than you expect, and so it was just like, we gotta go, everybody, let's go, like, and it was just like absolute madness because I mean the time is the time is the time, and you've got to honor that time because people are traveling. There's just so much with the recording that it's a high stakes situation, and the Laos Trinitati is. I don't know what makes that piece difficult. Something about it, maybe the modal quality. What would you all say?
I don't know that it's anything that it appears on a page. That seems certain.
Yeah, it's just there's always one piece that sneaks up on you that is going to be more challenging than you think it's going to be, and that piece for us was definitely the Laos Trinitati, and just to get it to lock and all those open fourths and those open fifths and like, ooh, there's just a lot to it. And then also I think we were just tired. That was the other thing. Like you don't realize that basically y'all were standing. We were all standing for 3 days, just 3 days.
Yeah.
Like my body was, I don't know about you all, but the next day I was like, my hamstrings, it was like fire. It was like absolute fire. I felt like I had like won a marathon or something like that, but just really, really great. But the choir sounded awesome in that. I think we should take a little listen to a little bit of the Laos Trinitati. So for those who are listening, Laos Trinitati is composed by Faith Zimmer. What she does is she pulls ideas from Hildegard von Bingen text, and a chant as well, and she transforms it a bit and makes it her own. So it definitely has that medieval quality, yet it also sounds contemporary at the same time. So this is just a little bit of Faith Zimmer's Laos Trinitati. that's just a little bit of Laus Trinitati. You have to check out the rest on Tuesday when the album officially drops. So it's a great little piece, and it's kind of hard to even find a stopping point because it's just kind of rolling. And that also makes it a little bit challenging to record as well because they're not these like structured scenes that there are. So, Selena, what was your favorite track on the album?
Oh gosh. I think my favorite honestly was the one where we had Joy, that Julian
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
was, oh my gosh. And truthfully, sometimes we don't take the time to listen to our lyrics, or pay attention. We just sing what's on the page and keep it pushing. But when you really focus on what the lyrics were saying in that piece, oh my gosh, it floored me every time. It really did.
It did. And that's Joy Never Leaves by Chris Harris. Just an incredible composition that just really just, wow. It's just stunning, breathtaking, great poetry as well. Angela, what's a favorite of yours?
For me, it's pretty hard to top Worthy of All of the Praise. I got to be right in front of all the tenors when they're popping off in their section. And that is a blessed and highly favored spot to be in during that. Like, there's a picture I think that was captured of me, and it's just me going, just really enjoying everything happening behind me.
Yeah, that number too is like, and that moment particularly when the tenors do their thing, it's just so good, so good. Wybla, what's a favorite moment for you?
I really enjoyed singing Eric Meyer's piece, The Gift to Sing. I think in my choral history, I've done some like aleatoric stuff, but never really had these extended sections of just like being like, make it up. And then eventually we'll just wrap it up and we'll keep on going. So it was really cool, especially because I think we changed formation in the room. And so just being able to hear everything that everyone else came out with and harmonizing with folks and going off, like just being able to make up stuff and just vocalize with a group of other people was really cool. Dare I say it was a gift to see.
Yes. Yeah, and a really interesting piece. Scott, I want to hear about one of your favorites, but then I want to circle back to Gift to Sing.
Yeah, I was thinking about favorites the other day. I had said when we talked last time that Tides, I think, is still number one for me. I just love that piece. But when we were talking about Were You There, also by Chris Harris, like there's something about that arrangement that is just so simple, but it's so complex, that arrangement. When it all comes together, it's so visceral and human in a way, and I just love it so much.
I totally agree. And like it just the unfolding of that piece, well, first of all, it's like over 7 minutes, and then it just has these like and the other thing is a lot of times in a piece there's like a big moment and then it ends, or it's like a constant like build, big moment and ends there. Because it's like it goes big moment, but it also brings you back down, which is another thing that I think is just great about that piece. Now, I want to revisit a little bit about Eric Meyer's piece, Joy Never Leaves. Eric Meyer is our collaborative keyboardist and our composer in residence, and he's just absolutely brilliant as a composer and as a keyboardist. Is just brilliant in so many ways. And this text is a text by James Weldon Johnson. So for those who don't know who James Weldon Johnson is, if you know Lift Every Voice and Sing, then you know James Weldon Johnson. So James and Rosamond are the two brothers that brought that to us, and they were both also important leaders in the NAACP and instrumental in the NAACP getting started. And this piece, this poem is so interesting to me because so many movements use singing in them. So many movements are like the civil rights movement here in the United States, whether it's apartheid, South Africa, but like singing is such an important part of that. And to think that singing can help us with so many different things, whether it's serving purposes of faith, purposes of hope, purposes of social change, etc., it is in fact a gift to be able to sing. And so I think that the text really encapsulates that so much. I love the piece because it is sophisticated but not complicated. It's very approachable. It's strophic, so it's nice that you have like some sections that are repeated, but the text changes the interpretation of them. And like Wygor says, I love the idea that that anyone can sing, and we can all sing, and we can all sing our own song, and we can all do our different thing at the same time, and yet it creates this beautiful cacophony. And one of the things that Eric intends is that when this piece is sung live, that and in person, that audiences will join in as well, which I think is important, because like how many times do you go to a concert and you never sing a note, right? The majority. And so I think that it's really just so cool and brilliant. So I'm just going to play a little bit of Eric Meyer's Gift to Sing. Isn't that just lovely? It's just so lovely. And it's just like, you wouldn't think that it would work with all of those things going on, but I think it's just gorgeous. And it feels mesmerizing, like the piano part, like it's just entrancing. It just is entrancing. So what did you all think about kind of just these different ideas? So the album is really taking a look at how we believe, how like elements of faith, whether that's faith in humanity, in our systems, like in tides, or whether it's more kind of traditional beliefs and Judeo-Christian kinds of themes, such as worthy of all the praise. Were there any kind of themes that came out for you that you felt like, man, that really resonates with me?
I think for me, Hymn to Time is that piece. I've always been kind of interested in the idea of time, both kind of like as just a person who is surrounded by time all of the time. It's like that's our job as conductors, but also just in the way that we change over time. So for me, that was like the pinnacle. I'm thinking of even, I don't know, there was no Elevate Vocal Arts, a year ago. There was, I was not a conductor 10 years ago. Trying to think of the ideas that I've developed as a human over time. That was the thing that overrode kind of everything for me, and trying to, thinking of faith in humanity or in a higher power, in trying to joy, like those are the things that I was thinking of as we went through this process.
Any others?
I was actually going to say him as well because of the. I love how there's really kind of question or ask you to question what are all of the different things that we as humans do to kind of like think we're achieving like holiness or something or power, and they're saying like you don't need to do all of these crazy things. Look at your fellow man. That's where you're gonna find. I love Catherine solo at the end where they're saying like it is. Well, I'm thinking of the lyrics now. But I love her solo. She's explaining like what is that. Like, that's for any of us inside, not just one person.
Absolutely. And go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say the last year was really difficult for me. I had a lot of personal successes and like really exciting life moments, but I also like had a really really awful thing happen. My father passed away last March, and so to keep celebrating life in that way for me, like while also mourning him, Joy Never Leaves really hit home for me in that way that like that text beauty for ashes, like that there is beauty in all, joy does never leave. And I've been trying to like keep living my life and my success and all the great things I get to do and the music I get to make with this joy in myself while still kind of remembering the loss of him. So that like for me, that's kind of what in combination with time, as you both talked about, that's been the big thing, the big takeaway for me while I was recording.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Selena, any thoughts, any pieces or themes that come up for you?
Honestly, when you expressed what the title of the album was going to be, when we saw that it was "Are You Looking?" I came in with one thought that it was, going to be, "Hey, am I looking for this thing, that thing?" But when we looked at all the pieces, looked at all the music, created all the recordings, I stopped and I thought about it, and I was like, it's different for everybody, but for me. When we were talking about "Are You Looking?" like I was in a place where I'm working on my doctorate, and it's so difficult. It is so difficult, and it's like I had to stop for a second and really think, am I really looking for what's best for me? Am I looking for my place with God to be better? Am I looking for the time that I need to do the things that I need to do as a wife and a mother and a teacher and a doctoral candidate and everything else that I do in my life? And it's just like, stop for a second, really focus on you. Are you really looking within time? And that was the thing that resonated most with me.
I think that text might have been the text that resonated with me the most as well. It's just, and I've mentioned this before. It's that when you really see me, you will find me instantly. You will find me in the tiniest house of time, and I love that. It's like, but when you really look for me, so it's just it's really great. What I'd love to do as we get ready and wrap up is I would love to play just a little bit of the opening of Hymn to Time, and then a little bit of the opening of course, Are You Looking for Me? Because that is the entire idea of the album. So what we'll do is we'll start with a little bit of the beginning of Hymn to Time. Hymn to Time is composed by Lee Kesselman, and at the beginning you basically hear the marking of time. You hear like a little clock going, and so we'll just listen to a few moments of this. This is Hymn to Time by Lee Kesselman. I just love that. I just think it's great. I just think it's such a great piece, and it is pretty frightening to do a piece when the composer is like so close to us. He was very proximate with us, and then it's all about time. So we wanted to make sure that we took it at the perfect tempo. We wanted to be sure that like all the rhythms were right, because if you're going to sing about time, you better do it right. So, so that was definitely something that it was a joy, a joy. And I'm going to skip to our title track, which is "Are You Looking for Me?" And then our vocal artists, as we get ready to wrap here, are going to just give us a little bit about something that about singing in elevation that you have found to be meaningful in your time here, because we would love to also hear something about that. So this is a bit of "Are You Looking for Me?" Actually, there's no "Are You Looking for Me" today. Just kidding. I didn't upload "Are You Looking for Me?" So you don't get any "Are You Looking for Me?" Is there another piece that you all would like to hear a little bit of as we get ready to sign off today?
Oh, we
Maybe
have to
little.
listen to "Worthy of All the Praise," Ariane.
Okay, we'll do that. That sounds like a good one. I forgot I did not upload "Are You Looking for Me?" We can only have a certain amount of videos on at one time, so sorry about that. So you'll just have to get the album. This is a little bit of "Worthy of All the Praise," and I'm going to stop right before the ending because you have to listen to that on Tuesday. You have to listen to that on Tuesday. It's so good. Here we go. This is "Worthy of All the Praise." I
every time.
know, I know. What a terrible place to stop it, but like the very, very ending is so, so good that I can't give that away yet. I can't. And so yes, that piece is just awesome, 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 awesome. When we did it at ACDA this past year during a intro session, like everybody was on their feet. It was just absolutely electrifying. And so thank you all. Thanks to our vocal artists for joining us today. This is exciting. On Tuesday, the album drops. Make sure you're looking out for it. We will certainly give you a reminder. You can find it on all of the platforms. So that's Amazon, that's Apple Music, that's Spotify, that's Tidal, that's everywhere, Pandora, everywhere. It'll be everywhere. We'll certainly remind you via email and via our socials as well. And we want to also remind you to follow us. And so you can follow us online at Vocal Arts and at Elevation Ensemble. And that'll give you all of the information that you need. So please, 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 please follow us on all of our social media. Please download the album. And just one word about that. One thing that you should know is that, of course, streaming the album is great. It's wonderful. We want you to do that. But if you download and buy the album, that is also wonderful too. Why? Because it enables our work so that we can bring more great music like this. And it supports our mission where we are training vocal artists ages 18 to 25. These are vocal artists from historically marginalized communities, those who are emerging and need support and technical assistance and advisement. So please, please consider also purchasing the album. And it will also be available in the coming weeks as well for you to have a physical copy, like a physical copy of the CD. You can actually have one. I don't know if you have a CD player anymore, but you can still get a physical copy of a CD if you would like to do that. So I want to thank Scott and Selena and Angela and Waigwa for joining today. And before we sign off, I want to ask them what has been the most meaningful parts about singing with Elevation, and then everyone will wish you a happy Memorial Day. Why don't we start with Scott?
I love the diversity of this ensemble. I love getting to experience everyone's specialities and what they bring and what they are so good at, and then kind of we all come together and make this great music together, which is evidenced by this album. So many different styles and things. So it's my favorite thing about it.
Awesome. Let's go to Waigwa next.
Yeah, I think the diversity is also the thing for me. I've never really sung in an ensemble with lots of people who also look like me, or were kind of raised singing the styles of music I was. So it's really fun to be able to switch from something that's more academic to something that is just more, I don't know, full-bodied and, and visceral of a singing style, and to just get to explore that full range with a whole bunch of other like-minded folks.
Awesome. Angela.
I feel like along with the diversity, I love the level of musicianship that everyone brings to this. I feel like every rehearsal, playing, learn so much.
Absolutely. It's just incredible musicians. And I feel every time I'm preparing, I'm like, ooh, I better get it right because everyone is so good. So it's so true.
Jill, your two partners and your voice part, and you're like,
absolutely. I totally get that. And Selena, what has been one of your takeaways from sitting with the ensemble?
The biggest takeaway for me has been the availability to do the thing that I was taught to do without having to be in charge, without having to be the only one, without having to be the highest voice, with just being able to sing. And that's difficult for those of us that do other stuff in music, because everybody always wants you to be the section leader or be the director, or hey, can you do this because I'm not gonna be here that day. So it's nice to just be a singer.
Absolutely. So thank you all again for joining us today. And to everyone, go check out the album on Tuesday. And so we're going to get ready and sign off and wish you all a happy and safe Memorial Day. Thanks, everyone.